Chessman Dan, playing chess every day until I get beaten with a stick. Today's recap, played a lot of games. I lost most of them. I did have some nice wins. However, in the pursuits of being transparent, I will be showing you the last game I've played. Today, the past couple of days, overall, feels a little bit of a plateau in terms of my games. And the trend is usually I play a really good opening, really high accuracy, and I blunder a lot during the middle game. So, which is whatever, Twas is chess. So I will be recapping the last game. I will be playing as black. I'll be attempting King's Indian game. So here we go. So, tradition to a King's Indian game, I am playing knight f6. My opponent kicks out his B and A pawn. Nothing crazy here. I'm not really sure what my opponent is trying to do. Starting position. If we go open up the analysis board, and it doesn't really say much in terms of what moves he's going. I think my opponent is just trying to create some sort of pawn pyramid structure. So as we continue on with the King's Indian, thus far everything seems to be going normal as planned. My opponent has pushed out all his pawns. However, I'm not really concerned at this point. Here is where I believe I make the first. So right here, in terms of the evaluation board, I have it's a negative 1.6 advantage for black. Nothing too crazy. Here, we continue developing. My opponent kicks out his knight to h3, and from there, black still has an advantage. So thus far, everything goes so well. Here I kick out the pawn. The idea with kicking the pawn at f5 is just let's open up the king side. My opponent has a castle, and I just want to get rid of the pawn structures. So here we trade. Right, and then from the moment of these exchanges, I am up negative 4.6 for black. So thus far, it seems like my calculations for the openings seems to be pretty well founded for the most part, especially on my elo. Here is where I make the first mistake. I don't know why I did that. I gave my opportunity to. He probably should have kicked with the pawn or his bishop, but however, by taking with his pawn, he blocks his bishop. Here, why did I move that pawn knight there? Knight to b4. I don't really know. But that move goes from I have a pretty good advantage to now the game is dead even. I wonder what the best move would have been. If we go here, go to knight at b4. Here, we kick back the evaluation board. He checks me. But I'm not really, they're like blindless checks. A good thing to do in chess is if you see a check, you should go for it. But if your check could be easily avoided and you're just moving your piece around, I'm not sure how good that is. So here, this is where I make the first mistake. I block with my bishop. See how crazy the evaluation board is? Kind of shows you why it's important to study your games. Here, negative 5.6. What would have been the best move? Yeah, I don't know what would have been. Maybe this? I guess blocking with the rook would have been the best move. Because if he would have taken, I would have taken, and it would have been dead even, I guess. I don't want to give up my rook. I guess I didn't consider blocking with my rook because the open e file. I was like, I want to activate my rook. So we do some trades. We're gonna fast forward to the game a bit. Maybe a little too far forward. But there's a key point in the game in which I take control. Or maybe I should have just... Alright, we're just gonna continue on. So here, I'm able to take it. Ooh, I like this move. Let me go back. Actually, I shouldn't be fast forward. So here, being checked, I block with a knight. He takes he forks me, so he checks me as well as taking that free pawn. Here I move my king. This is kind of, you're gonna see my opponent makes a mistake without him realizing it. Thus far, evaluation board, plus 10.3 for white, so pretty good. Here, The pawn is getting attacked by two powerful pieces, both my queen and my rook. Here, he brings out his knight. I guess essentially defending the knight. And this is where my opponent makes a big mistake, is that my opponent can't move. I've luckily, studying has been proving pretty well, is that in the sense that, like, yeah, I recognized, I saw the opportunity to pin. My opponent can take, but then he'll still be in the same position. And now he's down a queen. But he can't move out of the way because he's in check. So here my opponent tries to, I don't understand. I guess the idea was if I were to take, he would just move, but then he also loses yeah, I don't know. I don't know what my opponent was trying to do. I guess good idea, however, when you're being pinned. Here, I move my pawn up because I recognized that the queen was being defended by the knight. And if I were to take with the rook, he would then recapture. And yes, I'd be up yes, I'll take his knight as well, but I don't want to lose my rook. I already lost one rook. So here, I take, and now the game has turned to my end. We're pretty much at the end game, and we're gonna see how well I do. So fast forward, I begin checks. It's kind of like a Mexican standoff with these rooks. So I was fast forwarding, endgame stuff. Negative 17.8 for white, advantage for black, excuse me. Doing pretty well. Here, dodging the rooks like I'm Neo in the Matrix. Here I decided to take the rook because at this point I needed to simplify the board. I knew I had the advantage. And quickly here, mate in 12. I'm winning the endgame. And then you're gonna see, mate in 10. My opponent and I just do a little bit of dance. Here I see opportunity to promote my queen. Mate in 4. My opponent instead of my opponent just gave me a mate for sure. Just like that, I lose the game. So here I have a really good opportunity to do a mate in 2. For full transparency, I was just trying to promote the queen. The best move would have been this. Mate in 1. My opponent can't attack. You have to go back. And I could have done this. This was my idea. That would have been checkmate. That was my idea. The faster checkmate from here would have been moving my queen to G2. So as soon as I have the advantage and I'm close to mate, my opponent allowed me the opportunity to get mated. I give up a queen. Takes. I don't know what I'm doing. Takes. And yeah, the game's pretty much over. I didn't want to deal with another endgame. I've been losing a lot in the endgame, and I just knew I lost. There wasn't much I was gonna do, so I resigned. Moral of the story is, in terms of going forward of my chess training, I'm gonna lower my game limit. I feel like I'm getting better in certain aspects of chess. However, I think I'm just playing, the volume of games is too high. It's too high for my current understanding of chess. So I'm just gonna focus on getting better. Probably limit myself to 3 to 5 games a day and focus majority on just studying until I get better. I do want to stick with the King's Indian because I just feel like, yeah, I feel like the King's Indian is pretty cool. But see you tomorrow.